Kapapai. And he's the captain. Kai Kopopoyai. Don't struggle. Thank you, Lord.
Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. On today's video, we're going to listen to the deep teachings about revival and who are the remnants. I would love you to take your time as we go through this powerful ministration by Pastor Isaac Oyedepo as he takes us into the journey of revival. And after this video, we're going to make a very powerful commentary to explain the essence of revival and the importance of remnant. Alright, let's get to this video. God bless you.
We are a generation that largely seeks an abundance of revelation. We want to speak and it seem deep. So you hear people say, that was deep. Not everything that sounds deep is from the deep waters. Some of the things from the deep waters are so simple that they cannot be grasped. But see this, while a generation is running for the abundance of revelation, what is current now? What are people saying now? How can I blend in now? How can I be part of the move now? All that is great, but God desires a generation that will tarry in his presence. There are times you stay and say nothing. A generation is looking at the stage. God is looking at the secret place. For God does not look like man looks. Man may look on the outside, but God looks into the heart. Not everyone that claims they are men of God, does God see them as men of God. Whatever that means to you. But I'm speaking to somebody here. God is looking for a remnant that will treasure the secret place above the public space. That's why we said, the remnant, a people of his presence. This group is not for show. In fact, let me quickly tell you, if you are ascending in God, oftentimes many will drop off you because you become a threat to what is common or accepted. But follow this very well. Beyond writing, let it enter into you. Ghana, hear me. I heard the Lord very clearly today. It is in his presence that we carry his fragrance. What you stay around determines what you smell like. How can you tell a man or a woman has been around where food is cooked? They smell it. How can you tell a man has been around God? You sense it. God began to open my eyes in our generation and began to link me up with people who smell him. When I see them, I know. And there is a kindred spirit. Please watch who you are relating with. I was going to tell Pastor Akase that if he didn't sing that song on Awake, I would tell him to sing it again. I've heard the song, I've eaten it, I've drank it more than most of you. The closest point to death is sleep. When you sleep tonight, do you know where you are? And that song says, you who sleep the sleep of death. Then you look at somebody like my sister Abby. This is the first time we are meeting her. It will shock you. I've not seen her one-on-one. When I heard her, I said, this one carries the fragrance. No, I'm not part of those people. intentional with the fragrance you surround yourself with. There are people you must drop to remain on the list. My brother Donsi Onyekon, Nathaniel Bassi, Victoria Rose, my young brother Theophilus, please don't just follow people. We have left the days of performance. See your resident pastor. That man that was leading worship is pastor. There's a realm you live where it is not rehearsal. It is culture. It is in his presence you carry his fragrance. In his presence you carry his fragrance. So to carry his fragrance, you have to learn to tarry in his presence. Don't say, will say, leave me at the altar with my Father. Leave me at the altar with my Father. Leave me at the altar with my Father. So much distraction. Hear me. I want to bring you out of an Instagram moment to an intimacy moment. Many Kairos moments, the Lord told me in 2023, are not camera moments. When you are with him, who will record you? The remnant are a people of his presence. Quickly, there are 3 essential elements that will help you become a remnant and a person of his presence. Number 1 is what is called the awe of God. I stand in awe. Sing it softly. I stand in awe of you. Our generation has almost lost that. Holy God, to whom all praise is due. I stand in awe. It sounds like a soft song, but I will show you the depth of it. The awe of God is not something to play around. I stand in awe of you. I stand, Ghana, I stand in awe of you. Holy God, to whom all praise is due. I stand in awe. Holy God, to whom all praise is due. I stand in awe. I stand in awe of you. Kai. I stand, Isaac stands in awe of you. Holy God, to all praise is due. don't know what it means to be in awe of God. It means to fear Him. Many of you fear men more than Him. So that's why man can drag you out of your prayer time. How our parents grew up. Where was the telephone in the prayer room? I think this thing happening to us is a strategy of hell, of which all of us, almost all of us, are guilty. Do you fear him to receive a call from a mortal man in the presence of the immortal God? Immortal, invisible, oh God, kind, most
proceeds from us, most precious, most glorious, the
ancient of days. Why are you afraid to lose men? Without regard for the God that is already working out. Let them go, let him stay. Let them move, let him stay. We now need to begin to review our fear. How much do we really fear him? Many are in church but not in touch. Many have the form but lack the power. Many have the act but lack everything that should follow the act. God is saying, bring a generation back to fear me. Now when it's prayer time, even your boss calls you. When you close work, you should close work. When you are with God, you are with God. What were you doing? Not, oh, I didn't hear it ring. I was in the presence of my Father. What are you ready to lose to keep him? There are places we carry this kind of message, they will never invite you back. But I'm coming again. And I think we need to be having something like this every year. The awe of God is already missing in a generation. And look at two scriptures. One is Isaiah 11:3. Place that for me, Isaiah chapter 11 verse 3. Just allow the Spirit move. It says, and he shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his own eyes, neither shall he reprove after the hearing of his ears. The fear of the Lord. Isaiah chapter 33. Let's leave that. Let's go to Psalm 24. Psalm 24. 3-4. For who shall ascend? And I said at the beginning, we're about to ascend. Who shall ascend to the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his presence? Element number one. He that has a clean hand and pure heart, and has not sold his soul to vanity or sworn deceitfully, he shall receive the blessing, the awakening, the revival from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. The awe of God is not fear of God. Sorry, not fear for God. The fear of God is different from the fear for God. So we are not saying run away from him. We are saying when you have the awe of God as an essential element, it will enhance intimacy with God. There are things, if you truly fear your spouse, you will not dare, even in their absence. Not fear them in terms of running from them, but honor them. The awe of God. Number 2 is a bit popular, is the love of God. But we didn't start there, because a generation has been cultured to love God without fearing God. It's all right to love God, but that's not where to start. Fear God first. I read a book maybe a few months ago, almost a year ago. And this great evangelist was asked, at the point where he was being asked, he was already in prison. He was in prison. He was involved in many women matters, involved in fraud and all of that. And this man, young minister, asked him, how did you get here? What happened? He looked at him, he said, all the while I loved God, but I didn't fear him. That's what's happening to the now generation church. We love God. Oh, I love you. I love you. I will do anything. I will give. All that is good, but do you fear him? The secret life you are living, does it show that you fear him? For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro the earth, looking for the remnant, whose hearts, not whose act, whose heart is perfect towards him. God is saying here at Awaken Ghana, let it begin in the awe of God and then move to the fear of God. And finally, number 3 is hunger for God. If you be a man or woman of his presence, I won't just tell you worship. If you worship without the awe of God, it's not going anywhere. If you worship without the love of God, it's going nowhere. If your hunger is not palpable, you can't be a carrier. I'm teaching you how not to wait till you come to church to encounter his presence, but how you can become a mobile carrier. That is, everywhere you go, he goes. Hunger! For blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Presence of God, a man and woman of his presence, comes at a cost. The cost of the fear of God, the cost of the love of God, the cost of hunger. 2023, I told God, Lord, it's all right for anybody to say that I'm guilty, but if I'm found guilty, let it be that I am desperate for you. Let it be that I'm hungry for you. Hear me. If no one has blamed you for going too far, you are not hungry. If in 2 years your company has not changed, you are not hungry. Except there are also men of hunger. But it is automatic that people will drop off you. It's guaranteed. So that's Matthew 5:6. They who do hunger and thirst after righteousness, they shall be filled. Psalm 42 verse 1, as the deer pants for the waters, so my soul panted after thee. Psalm 63 verse 1, I long to see you. 63 verse 1, thou my God, early will I seek thee, my soul thirsted for thee, my flesh longed for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is. Verse 2, to see your power and your glory, even as I've seen thee in the sanctuary. So I've said the remnant are men and women of his presence, right? To be a man and woman of his presence, the element of the awe of God. We should all go back home and really ask ourselves, how much do we really fear God? How much? And then of course, our love for God. Matthew, I think that's 22. Or Matthew 22, 37 to 40. The love of God, which is what we share about almost everywhere. Love God, love God, love God. We are loving God, but what is happening? There is no fear mixed in that love. Not that you run away from him, but the fear of God makes you run to him. Just like the altar will be open in just a moment. I'd like you to forget about what the traditions have been. There are two people that will need to be prayed for and will need to come to the altar. One, those who have never committed to following Jesus. Two, those who were once committed but need to recommit their commitment. And then maybe number three, those who feel a separation. You've tried, you've confessed, you've prayed, you've done all of that, but there seems to be a separation and saying, oh, I just heard him. Kai. But David said, please don't take your spirit. Wait.
All right, that was a very powerful video by Pastor Isaac Oyedepo. I must say that I personally was blessed by that raw encounter with Pastor Isaac Oyedepo. Now, one of the things he was talking about was compelling revival, refraining from certain things, and why the remnant of the Lord must take ground this season. Now, I want to put more light on what Pastor Isaac Oyedepo said. Now, some of us may be asking, what is revival? What is the essence of revival? Why revival? Now, revival simply means making alive again those who have been alive but are fallen, and making those who are cold to be revived again. Now, there are Christians that have life, but they need to be revived because they have lost connection with God. We can be a working person, but we've lost connection with our first love. So the importance or the essence of revival is to restore our lost relationship with God. So if you're going to be a tool of the Father in this end time, then you must be revived. You must be revived because it is a tool for communication. It is a tool for relationship with the Father. And also, we are made to understand that the purpose of revival is to restore the presence of God and bring us back to relationship with the Father. It awakens the heart of the people. In other words, this simply means that the revival simply means, or the purpose of revival is to restore the presence of God, is to restore the heart of God in the heart of men, and also to bring us back to the will of the Father, to bring us back so we can have a relationship with the Father. So if you're going to enjoy revival, then one of the purposes of revival is to restore the presence of God and bring us back to the relationship we have with the Father. So I want you to take your time, please revisit that video of Pastor Isaac Oyedepo and dwell on the word. Dwell on the word. He said some things there. He said that he wants to bring us out of the place of Instagram and bring us to a place of intimacy. So if you're going to do great things for the Lord, you have to sacrifice self for him to come in. You have to do certain things. You have to break certain protocols for the Lord to come in. I pray that as we open our hearts to be tool for revival, may we encounter divine restoration with the Lord in the name of Jesus. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share to other believers for edification. Remain blessed and God bless you.